Growing up, I was not taught about the benefits of home ownership or finances or anything like that. I grew up in a single-parent home. When I started working in sales, which led to working in banking, that is how I started to realize that I knew nothing at all about how money works and how the economy works. It was clear that the people in the banking world that were coming in making the large deposits owned a lot of real estate. My first experience with real estate investing was going to some of the free events that real estate professionals have to try to get more clients or more partners. I learned that they were not going to invest as they wanted me to invest in them, and it wasn't going to help me get to my goals. I have 6 children, and what I found when I was working for someone else is that they were taking the time that I wanted to spend with my children and giving me a paycheck in exchange to just be able to pay my bills. I was not able to put my children in the activities that I wanted them to be in, go on the vacations that I wanted to go on. I thought, okay, if I work hard enough, if I get the right deal and I stick with it, then I can actually change my reality and make sure that my children are never in some of the situations that I found myself in. I became a realtor, and because of my interest in investing, I targeted investors as my first clients. What I found out was I was doing a lot of the work for them, and they were getting big checks, much bigger than my commission checks. So I figured, I'm finding the properties, I'm running the numbers, I'm running the comps, so let me do some research and see if I can find a company that will allow me to actually not just be the realtor, but be the investor myself. My biggest challenge in getting started would definitely be the fear of failure, just not knowing what I didn't know, and also, the horror stories that you hear with people getting into investing, and one deal can break you, and things like that are replaying in your head over and over. And so when I found a company like Do Hard Money, who was really holding your hand throughout the whole process, they were really there as a personal contact to call and ask questions and not feel like you were going to be alone in the process. This particular property surrounds the inner parts of Houston. Over the past couple of years, we've seen a lot of growth, a lot of people moving to the city and developing there. And this one is right on the outskirts. It's probably walking distance to 610. This property actually needed everything. It was vacant for about 5 years, so there was a lot of deferred maintenance. And before that, it was a rental. And you also saw a lot of DIY stuff, a lot of different wiring in the property from the decades. And it actually was full of unvaluable antiques. So we had to do some demo, and we actually had to work with the seller because his mother did have sentimental value to it. So we had to, take time to move some of that and then do some demo. We converted the garage area to a 4th bedroom with a bathroom, and the entire exterior had asbestos tiles on it, so we had to put some hardy plank on there, change out all the windows, and pretty much everything had to be redone. With the rehab costs, what I had to do is speak with multiple contractors and just call and ask for bids, ask how much this cost or that may cost. You hear horror stories about contractors not being honest, so I did some of that myself, did the research on the materials and shopped around, and it was going to be about $50,000 to get this property to a basically totally updated state. The most important thing that I did on this property is to keep pushing. There were some obstacles in actually closing the property. Anything from an appraisal to a seller having second thoughts, surprises in the walls, all these different things come into play during the process, and if you give up, you don't see that profit until you close. You have to keep pushing through the obstacles, and I had faith that this would work if I just kept moving forward, even if there was a setback. I chose Do Hard Money to fund this deal instead of myself or going with like a bank or something like that, because Do Hard Money is more so looking at the asset. They're more so looking at the deal, and that takes a lot of pressure off of the investor. to be the perfect candidate and really be able to say, I can fund this if the deal is good enough. I believe the cash to close was about $6,000. I was actually able to renegotiate with the seller for some of that and really get that down to more like $4,000, just so that it was more comfortable. What I discovered in this process of shopping around is that pretty much all hard money has about the same terms, but it's the people that make the difference. They'll answer the phone when you call, they email you to check on you. They are real people. They are normal people that will call you, say, how are you doing? Have a great day. So it really felt like I was part of their team and they were part of my team. Personal support, the first name that sticks out is Darren. From the beginning, he was telling me, what their processes were. I had questions about some of the paperwork. I did submit a couple deals previous to this one that we ended up closing, and I was confused on why, the cash to close would be so much, or I thought this was a great deal. I love this neighborhood. Can we do it? He really walked me through each step, what they were looking for, even helped me battle with an appraisal that was clearly wrong, which if he hadn't done that, this deal would not have happened. This property, I'm actually blessed to say that I get to refinance it. I'm going to be able to pull $30,000 out just from the equity. If we wanted to sell it, our total payoff is about $85,000.